This podcast is certified fresh. Freshmediaworks.com.
Welcome to the Montgomery ISD Athletics Show, where each week we share conversations about everything that makes MISD athletics so great. Montgomery ISD, in partnership with families and community, will graduate all students with the knowledge, skills, and leadership necessary to thrive as productive and responsible citizens. Athletics play a vital role in student success, promoting physical and mental well-being while developing essential life skills like teamwork, leadership, and resilience that benefit students far beyond high school. The Montgomery ISD Coaches Show is fueled by EAG Automotive, East Texas's MVP since 1977. With 8 locations and a winning lineup of new and pre-owned rides, they bring the heat with hometown hustle and high-performance service. EAG Automotive, where East Texas drives to win.
With 60,000 fiber route miles across 20 states, we deliver reliable solutions. We prioritize customer service to build better relationships and a better Texas. Consolidated Communications. Let's build a better network.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Montgomery ISD Athletics Show. I'm Chris Daly, and I am joined today again by Lake Creek baseball coach Jeremy Schramm. How you doing, Coach?
Thank you. I'm doing well.
Cool. Gosh, what an exciting end to the season, huh?
Absolutely. It was a good season. We made history in making it to the state championship game this year. I would categorize this as, we got to start at the first day of the season like everybody else in the state, and we got to make it all the way to the last day. So it was a good year.
Yeah. I love that. And the losses are the things that coaches always remember years later. They think about the losses, and this was a tight one. If you could, let's talk about that game just a little bit.
It was a tight game. We had a couple of rain delays. I think the game started at 5:30. With all the rain delays, we did not wrap up the game until 11:30 that night. But it was a good game. We faced some really good pitching from Aledo, a very talented team from Aledo. And also in their batting lineup, it came down to just executing, and it was a tight game. I'm proud of the way our kids competed against a good team like they did. The pitcher for Aledo, he's going to LSU for some pretty good reasons. I mean, left-handed pitcher. He was up to 96 that night against us, but our kids battled well with him. For someone that good, I think we only had 2 strikeouts against him. Wow. And our kids were battling at the plate, continuing to put the ball in play. It's just they made the plays that they needed to make to win the game.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, like you said, you made history. There's over 1,000, almost 2,000 teams in the state this would be their most historic season ever. So, what a year.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk about the surprise to the outside world that your playoff run was, because you weren't a whole lot of games above 500. You're second in district, and then you make this amazing run. Did you guys always believe that was possible?
Oh, our kids and we believed it was possible. A lot of people ask us, and leading up to the championship game, about our record, and leading up before district started, and we were at a 5-9 record at one time. And one thing I will say at Lake Creek, in our non-district tournaments and our schedule, we try to face the best competition we can. And we faced some really good teams. We faced Tomball, and we scrimmaged Tomball. We played Kingwood, who went to state and won it last year. We played Atascocita twice, who was a runner-up in 6A last year in the state tournament. So we look for good competition. And if you look at those games that we played, even though we were 5-9 at one point, these were all tight games we were playing. And we knew we were a good team. There were some things we needed to get better at, and playing those good competition leading up to district kind of exposed us in some places that we needed to get better and things we needed to work at. And our kids did. They continue to work, and we continue to get better each day. And I really feel that's the reason we made a run. It's because we were getting better as the season was going along.
Yeah, no doubt. And talk about, district came in second in district. That says a lot about the district.
No, absolutely. Our district is very competitive from top to bottom. There's not a week off, you can say, an easy week to get better in district. You have to show up each day, every every Tuesday and Friday, ready to play. And you have to accumulate enough wins to qualify to get in the playoffs. And that's what makes high school baseball so fun, and all high school sports. You earn your way into the playoffs. It's not something that we signed up for the state tournament back in November. We had to earn our way to get there, and our kids did. They proved it week in and week out.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's talk about that. Who on the team now I know you knew the kids, you knew what to expect, but maybe the outsiders, who was a surprise to the fans?
I don't know who was a surprise or not to the fans.
Mhm.
I feel like our seniors got better from last year. We challenge our seniors to get better, and we have end-of-year meetings with them last year, and we talked to them about things they need to get better at, and all of our seniors got better.
Nice.
And our seniors did a great job not only competing on the field, but leading our players, our underclassmen in practice, and by doing things the right way and showing up to work every day. But we had great years by seniors. I mean, we had Peyton Trammell, our right fielder. He set the home run record and the doubles record this year. He
Nice.
also set the career record for doubles and home runs, and he tied the single season RBI record. He had a fantastic year. Jackson Marshall broke the run scored record this year here at Lake Creek. Reed Newkirk, not a record that anybody's going to talk about, but he tied for the most walks in a single season, and our team also set a record for the most walks in a single season. I think it goes to show how disciplined our kids were this year at the plate, and those were phenomenal numbers. We had Harper Heathcock that broke the career wins record here at Lake Creek, and that's a pretty big record when you look at some of the pitching that we've had come through here in our program. So we had seniors that did some outstanding things this year, and we also had underclassmen that stepped up. So it was a total team effort. I think when you go to state, you're gonna break some records. You're gonna have some career highs and some school record highs being broken, and we did. And we're very proud of these kids and the effort that they gave this year.
Nice. And talk about the importance of getting hot at the right time, because the playoff run, with the exception of you started a couple of those series with a loss and that kind of put you back against the wall. But talk about momentum and how important that it was.
I feel like going into the playoffs at the end of the district, we were starting to play better baseball. I felt like our pitching started getting better in that. I felt like our situational hitting was getting better. And I felt like everything was getting better at the right time. I feel like even from the first week of the playoffs to the last round of the playoffs, I feel like our team believed that they were getting better in practice every day. We weren't showing up to practice and going through the motions. Our kids were working and still trying to get better. And that contributed to our run. When we started getting deeper in the playoffs, we obviously played better teams than that. You play Rouse, that is number 3 in the state, and we play Victoria East. I believe they were number 6 in the state. And those were really good teams with a lot of talent and also. And like you said, we fell behind in those series, losing game 1, but our kids never got down. Nice. They continued to go out there and compete. There was never any doubt in their mind that we weren't going to win.
I love that. And talk to me about I guess, what are you losing this year in terms of seniors?
Well, we're losing 10 seniors. We're losing in our batting lineup. We're losing Peyton Trammell, who is in our 4-hole, Reed Newkirk, who's in our 3-hole. We're losing Jackson Marshall. That was our leadoff hitter. Our third baseman, Colin Wiederholt, is a senior, and our catcher, Luke Logeman. And that's in our batting lineup, guys that will be missing next year. On the mound, I've already said Harper Heathcock, one of our starting pitchers. We had Gavin Neighbors, who is a starting pitcher for us. A big loss also for us is going to be Caden Whitworth. He's the guy that came in at the end of games for us in relief. And not only it wasn't just one inning. Sometimes it was 3 or 4 innings he came in relief and did an outstanding job. So those guys contribute a lot to our success. But we had seniors like Aiden Lights, Braden Yin that also did a good job for us this year. So we're losing 10 seniors. They're going to be hard to replace, but in high school, you're always going to graduate good players, and
Yep.
we're always going to have to work to replace those guys. And, we have underclassmen that are going to be traveling around and playing baseball this summer, but when they show up in August, we'll start the routine of our off season. That includes weights and fundamentals all through the fall and getting ready for next year's season.
Nice. And talk about what those seniors imparted and what this playoff run taught the underclassmen in terms of experience.
I think, as I kind of mentioned, our seniors worked hard every day.
Mm-hmm.
They showed up to practice, and they believed that they were working hard to get better. And toward the end of the season, we weren't no longer trying to get better. Sometimes we were doing things that we couldn't get it wrong anymore, like in our
Mm-hmm.
bunt coverages and rundowns and that. And they just showed up with that mentality. And for our underclassmen, that was pointed out to them many times that this is not normal that you have a senior class like this that shows up, and that sometimes late in the year, seniors, they've already graduated and that, and you're still in the playoffs. Sometimes that and they may lose focus, but not this class. They were dedicated. They all had a goal and they worked to it. So I think that was very valuable to our underclassmen to see, and our underclassmen seeing how a playoff series goes. We
Mm-hmm.
had guys that were sitting on the bench this year in the playoffs that next year we're going to be leaning on. And hopefully they saw how intense situations were and how these kids handled the pressure and fought through it.
Nice, nice. And if you could also give some kudos to the coaching staff because, it's not a one-man show.
Absolutely not. Very thankful for my coaching staff. Sorry, excuse me. Thankful for my coaching staff, Coach Gary, Coach Patane, and Coach Campbell. They do an outstanding job working with our players, not just the varsity players, but our sub-varsity players. We have to work with our underclassmen on a daily basis. We have to continue to work with those guys to get them better, because one day when they are juniors and seniors, they're going to be the guys that will be playing in these big games. And my staff did an outstanding job this year working with them and the varsity.
Nice. And what does a season like this do to um, engagement, and kids coming out to play baseball and joining the sub varsity?
I think everybody's excited to be part of a program that has success.
Yeah.
With that, they have to understand that it does take work. It is a process that they have to go through, and it just doesn't happen by accident.
Mm-hmm.
That it is something that it is in every kids are dedicated. This team, they were dedicated. These players were dedicated, and they worked every day. And it's something that's going to happen over time. But it does bring a lot of excitement to the program. Once you get this close and you come up short, your next group coming through, they know what the goal is.
Yeah.
And they've been there and they know what they're working for. You talk about going to state, but when you actually go to state and they see it and they get to be at Round Rock, now that they have a taste of it,
Yeah.
it encourages them more.
I love it. And you mentioned off season. What does the off season look like for the kids and for you guys?
Well, our off-season program, it is we work out twice a week, and that starts in August, right when our kids show up, freshmen through seniors. We're in the weight room, and we're working on speed and explosive training. Along with that, we spend time out in the field as fundamentals, defensive fundamentals, hitting fundamentals. And that is kind of the process. We start in August, and we work in some live ABs, and we do some inner squatting too throughout the fall to get kids ready and also evaluate kids. The best thing you can see is your best pitchers face your best hitters, and we talk about iron sharpens iron in our program. So our off season is competitive. We try to compete in everything we do, and we are working toward the next January to the season starts.
I love that. I love that. Well, Coach, gosh, I want to again congratulate you on a really good season. When we talked earlier in the year, you were positive. A lot of people were positive. I don't think anybody was expecting this, and it was an amazing run. Congratulations.
Thank you. Absolutely appreciate it.
At the Woodlands Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, they want kids to thrive, not just in school, but in sports and in life. Pressures like anxiety, ADHD, or even the stress of competition and injuries can hold them back. That's why their team offers specialized care, including sports psychology, to help kids manage performance pressure, bounce back from setbacks, and build confidence on and off the field. They provide complimentary consultations, so call today. Call 281-528-4226 or visit addwoodlands.com because every student deserves the chance to thrive.